Your Subways, if you want to qualify for more duo events, especially the current Elite Cup finals where you can easily make your first earnings, then you definitely click the right video. Okay, so this is the previous Elite Cup qualifiers to get to the finals, and I'm actually going to be vote reviewing this team here, which I actually vote reviewed for like 3 videos ago. I'll actually put the video up on the top of the screen here if I remember. And when I vote reviewed them, they just came like 60th out of qual, and now since then they actually qualified to this finals, so I'm excited to see how they do in the finals, but there probably is some issue with drop spots. And we're going to be watching this game here, 5 kills second. Okay, so they land here this game, obviously, and they pull literally like the best zone they could get, and all I do here is just loot max everything like I said in a previous video, and then maybe just, it does depend on Surge as well, because I did watch this game, so I know there's going to be bad Surge, but here you can't really tell if there's going to be bad Surge yet, so I just keep like looting and stuff, and then by the time you finish looting, you can probably tell like what Surge is going to be, and then if there wasn't any Surge, then I'll probably just stay back here on these islands in some bush or building and wait, or if there was Surge, I'll probably go like up here on top of the little rock there, because you know zone's probably going to pull back. So you'll probably get Surge if you sat there, or maybe even on the other side where that rock is. Or even this hill, is it? Yeah, this hill here. That would be a really good hill for Surge as well. Yeah, and so by this point, 48 people, there's gonna be no Surge, like whatever. So they just sit back here and choose a hiding spot. And they do choose a house, but like, the thing I don't like about hiding in a house is like, when you're on the roof, it's just so like dodgy, right? Like imagine you're a guy coming through here, and you got the stairs, and then boom, you see something weird like a head, so you just jump up, place a wall, and boom, you got all the piece control, and you can just kill them easily, wait for your teammate. And you might be thinking, oh, you can just place a wall and your piece control there, but it's gonna look so dodgy if someone does that. Like if they see a wall there and it's edited perfectly to have piece control, like it's just gonna be so almost pretty obvious that someone's up there. Like it probably would be just way better to hide in this bush out here, probably over here. I probably would have hid it over here in this bush. It's a bit rough to know what to do here, because if you sit back here, like, yeah, no one's going to go past there and you might be able to hide, but then if third zone pulls over here, which I know it does, then the amount of distance you're going to have to travel is going to mean you're not going to really get a good position in that third zone. So I'll probably, like on a second zone, you usually want to hide a bit. If you're like doing this hiding thing, you want to be in like a bit deeper, so you know like in the third zone you can get there pretty quick. So I'd probably go like, I'd either go like here, I'm pretty sure there's a bush in the island, or you could go like, even a bush here is a bit better, but I probably wouldn't do that. Or you could go on that island, there's a good bush there, or you could go like up here somewhere in a bush. Those are all pretty good because they're dead side, so they're going to be like low traffic areas. But there's still going to be a good bush in them with a good hiding spot that is going to make it easy to rotate into third zone really quickly. Like in a lobby like this, you just want to be hiding until third zone and then just hook it into third zone and get a good position usually. I never knew this house said something on it. Came house. What? So they do end up just going to this building on very edge and just hiding in it. Which is, it's like good because like you know no one's going to go through this, a really low traffic area, so then it's really likely they can just hide there until next zone. But the thing is, like I said before, I know zone is going to go up here, so if they're here, think about how long it's going to take for them to get up there and hook it in, and by the time they do that there's going to be heaps of people all around, so they're only going to be able to get like not that far in most likely. But imagine they like based up here, I mean not based up, like hid here or hid here. Look how easy it is to get into that zone like really quickly and get in deep really early. And this isn't just a good tip for the one specific zone. Like imagine you're in these positions like here or anywhere here in a bush. Like imagine any other zone, like over here, that's really quickly to get into. Over here, it's really quickly to get into. And obviously anyone's over here are easy. And then that one as well, that's pretty easy. Like every zone's gonna be pretty easy to instantly get in and get in a good position. But yeah, you can see how like far back in a game, like a decision could change the future of your game. And yeah, as you can see, third zone does pull max, so they do rotate instantly, which is good. but they know now they have a really long way to get in there. And you see here how there's not many people in, but by the time they get there, there's going to be so many people congested around the middle. It's going to make it hard for them to get into a good position. But as I said before, like imagine you're over here or here, like you could get in before all of these people make it into a good spot. They do make it here, and since it's a pretty dead lobby, they can get in like an average like position, you know, like it's not too deep in, but it's not center zone, you know. So forget about the past, like what things I did wrong then. Instead, what I do now, since you can get here so late, is if I'm getting here late, I'm obviously not early enough to get like deep into zone, because the reason you want to get center is so it's an easy rotate to every zone, or you can either get every zone so the rotate doesn't even exist, right? So what you gotta do here is think, okay, since I can't go in deep, is there another way that I can set myself up in a position that's going to make it easy for the next rotate? And yes, there is a way. For here, you could go hard right and curve in here. I'd probably stop here, set up in a good position here, or you can just keep going and even sit back here somewhere. Just make it so every zone is going to be really easier to rotate because you're in this area where there's no one. Because what this is going to do, even though it's not center, so what's going to happen is, imagine any zone, right? Any fourth zone, like imagine that's fourth zone here, and then you're in this area. Think about how easy it is to just curve around and get in fourth zone there, compared to someone like up here, which is actually them. Look how many people they have to go through to get into there. So it's going to be obviously more rough for them. It won't be that bad because it's like a dead lobby, but still, good tip. So usually when you're in dead side, it's going to make it way easier to rotate into any zone. So that's what I would have done. I would have curved into dead side more, just to set myself up for an easier future. Just to set myself up for like a good future. They still do kind of have the access over here, but more people could rotate it and make that a bit worse for them, and they are close to these people, which will notice them rotating and shoot them, and they have to go past this person, they have to go really far. Like imagine how easy it would be if they were up here. Like they can easily just go right and access a really easy rotate anywhere they want. And of course, I do get decently lucky again pulling this zone, so it doesn't end up mattering. The dangerous thing about this though is like, if you go into a position and there's like previous decisions that you made that weren't the best, but you just get lucky for zone, and then because of that, and you do good, and you have good match, you're like, oh, we did nothing wrong in that game. But there are stuff you do wrong, but you just get lucky, so it doesn't matter. And the danger of that is you just won't learn unless you get unlucky and fail doing something. And yeah, they pull another good zone, half, and they put it 3 seconds ago and they're already rotating, which is actually really good and definitely what I want you to do. If you have the priority for this rotate and you can go instantly, definitely do it. Except unless someone can hold you, but these people can't really hold them because they're kind of busy keeping their height, and there's trees so they can't really see them. But they do make a little mistake here, which doesn't end up mattering too much because they have a pad. But even though at a pad, there's definitely no point for you to not rotate all the way over here. And then I would definitely stay up on this hill because you obviously want some elevation, but there's no point for you to not use this easy opportunity to go all the way over here and then build up like one layer and be in a nice spot up here, and it'll be like in the center of half, so the future moving zones will be like way easier. But yeah, they end out their rotate sitting here like on edge, which obviously just could have been way better. Like could have been this team here. This position here is just so much better than this position here, and they could have got that really easily. But imagine they have no rotation, it'll be so much more valuable to be in deeper. But even though they have a pad, it'll still be better because the pad is just going to go further because you get to pad later, obviously. In first moving pools, and it does go max. And also I just want to show you here again, like imagine you positioned yourself here and you had no rotation. Look how easy that rotate is. And they use a pad a bit too late, they take some damage. And yeah. And from here, I don't really like their landing spot too much. Well, I say that, but they couldn't really land anywhere else because they weren't really like early. because they went really early, which is actually another thing that makes it really good. Even having a padding going in the sense of half is, since you're padding later, you get to have more people set up tarps front side that had to pad early, and then you can land on top of those tarps and already get a high layer safely. But since they positioned themselves in the back of half and first moving went max, they had to pad it first, so they could only land on low ground, which, like I said, a lot of times you generally do not want to do that. But yeah, here, this layer is kind of, like, it's good to start off because it is a dead lobby as well. If this was a more stacked lobby, you want to go up way quicker, way more urgently. But here, they can kind of get away with it a little bit, but definitely I do not want them down this low, especially with the mats they have and stuff and their pad. I'd probably go like up one, or like probably up to this layer here, which is I think 2 layers up. Also, if you are to slow down, another tip I want to talk about is, instead of just getting a little bit in zone, if you're to slow down, you want to get all the way to the back. And this is because if you stop here, right, a lot of the time people are going to build over you and keep going, and then say zone pulls like over here, it's going to be so hard for you to go from this low ground position and go through the people above you to go and get a good rotate. But if you are low down like this, you can recover by going all the way to like over here, or like nearly over here, just have access to the left, which is dead side. And then when zone pulls like that way, you can easily like get out of your top and go up without anyone above you. But yeah, dead lobbies, so it didn't end up matting too much. And then they get a really lucky zone. Like, look how good that zone is. They made like a massive top, which is unusual for duos. Like a massive straight top, and the zone pulled perfectly all the way back, like that far. That's like half of the zone, and with that you can easily use all the pieces you made to get kills and stuff. They get really lucky again, which is like another thing that's gonna happen from that is like they're just gonna think what they do is like okay because it worked, because they got lucky. But like that thing, like the thing they do, just because it worked once doesn't mean it's the best thing you should do. This is like a good example as well to why I would want them to be higher up. Like imagine this zone was going diagonally this way, right? And they ended first zone like low ground, so they're here. And look what they have to do now if zone was going diagonally away from their top. They'd have to go through all this like this terrain that goes up, the elevation goes up and it goes through builds, and obviously would go through people as well because of that. But if they finished this top, this is the top they finished at in a first moving, but if they finished their top like upper layer here, look how much easier it would be to just hop along the builds and stay away from all these like scuffed like old builds on low ground and suffocation and stuff. Like look how much more free these people are rising Woodsy to just go anywhere they want because of how high they are up. But again, they do get lucky with the zone, so it's like doesn't end up mattering, and they're like, because they get lucky, they don't like notice their mistake, you know. At this point though, it's starting to be like at the point of the game where it doesn't matter if you're not that high up. So at this point, like when third moving is about to go, this is when it doesn't matter too much to be high up, and you want to start looking for either low ground or high ground. So it's fine what they're doing. But I'd rather be up here. I'd definitely rather be this team. Because imagine zone pulls that way. Look how much easier access you have to that low ground or that area compared to us down here, you know? Also here, they like drop down and like go for this kill when he has 80 mats and he has 80 mats and they have a pad and they're so stacked. Like, I would, instead of focusing that kill, I would focus just running frontside and claiming low ground. This lobby is pretty dead at this point though, so, but it's kind of, because of that, it's kind of like expected for not many people to go for low ground. Because imagine this lobby was like ×2, which it might normally be. That's like 2 times the chance of people wanting to go for low ground. He also really needs to be blocking his back here, because look how far back it goes, his top. Like someone could easily break in here, come up behind and shoot. And this is a nice layer here. Like this is good. Like some people might drop down here to get low ground. It could be a good idea though. I think what you could do here is have like one person stay up and maybe one person drop down depending on your mats. If you have good mats like they do now, 90 and 60, I could even have like one of you guys drop down here and just claim this area of low ground in case zone pulls this far. But you also have one person stay up, because if zone pulls back here, you still want low ground, you know? You don't want to like lose this area. Or instead of that, you should at least be looking like, edit this wall, place some floors above you, so like the people gonna shoot you from the top, and then just wait for zone, just stare at zone, and then if it pulls this way, then instantly drop down. But yeah, then zone does pull back up, kind of where the game goes wrong a bit. So they've set themselves up like really well to finish this game out, but they end up kind of being like, kind of just fumbling around and being weird back here. So here they just need to rotate, get front side, axe through all these walls, and then make a nice like airtight, and then make a like a nice airtight tarp all the way in, and stay together and stay focused completely around you, because they kind of have weird priorities like with like what they're doing here. Like they obviously know there's 3 teams left, 3 full duos, so if they know there's one team high obviously and they're not frontside low ground, they need to be thinking, oh, is there a team going for frontside low ground? We need to like go front and make sure we have low ground secure. But they kind of fumble around here, not paying attention, and then this other team that's trying to go for low ground comes up behind them and fights them. And then they get split up and they kill his teammate here, which could have cost them, they do come second, but this could have cost them second place if this guy didn't hit some crazy shot later on. Like they could just be here right now. They could just both be here. Like they could just be front side here, just claiming the top, and this team back here just has no choice but to go up. But yeah, it's also pretty lucky that Height drops down and tries to fight this team, because otherwise they do that, they like the team we were VOD reviewing probably would have got third, which cost a lot of points. And yeah, he has to play this out solo. Chaos. But look how close, he actually just went crazy there. He could have won that game. Like imagine if he had a teammate. Obviously like if he had a teammate, the tight team might have not like dropped down that much. But even if they were a duo, they could have probably went out the side and tried to go for higher and win. Yo, thanks for making it through the whole video. If you found this video useful and you want to keep learning, then definitely click this video on the screen right now where I actually teach you guys how to VOD review correctly, which is a really important skill. Anyways, join the community Discord using the link in the description of this video if you want to be VOD reviewed yourself, just like these people in a video just like this. Make sure to also subscribe, like, leave a comment if you actually found this video useful to let me know, and I'll make more videos. Alright, use code VUJ. Goodbye.